Hello, welcome back to LBG Reviews. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Today we'll be talking about Little Witch in the Woods. Little Witch in the Woods is a cozy, relaxing game where you play as Ellie Blue River, an apprentice witch who while on the way to a witch's house for her apprenticeship, the train she's on gets stopped due to some prickly vines. She gets off to go explore, gets left behind by the train the next morning, and basically the game follows you restoring the town, removing the prickly vine cores, befriending the villagers, slowly rebuilding this town, learning about how the previous witch who used to live in the witch's house there, or how their life's goal was to try to build a garden that would never die, could never wither away, and basically how that witch ended up dying, thinking that they had failed that dream. Now, in terms of accessibility settings, the game doesn't really have any, and that is both a good thing and a bad thing. See, part of why it's a good thing is, for the most part, apart from brewing potions and candies, the game really doesn't have any timed segments. Now, for required potions that have very specific ingredients, those specific ingredients you will get your resources back. But any more common resources, you will lose those resources and have to gather them again, process them again, and then attempt the potion again. However, beyond that, there isn't, like, although the game has seasons and like you see, like, there are minor changes in the environment through the seasons really don't seem to play too much of a factor into the gameplay, and also the materials you gather are fairly easy to come across. There's loads of people to befriend, fish to catch, cats to befriend, potions to brew, places to explore, secrets to find, eventually unlock the ability to decorate your house. And the game recently launched on version 1.0 not too long ago in comparison to when this video comes out. It'll actually be a few weeks, but the game is a lot of fun. Part of why I'm able to talk about so many games is because, for the most part, I don't finish every game I play. There have been games I've talked about that I've only played like the first few hours of, and I know they get a lot better after those first few hours, even if they were already really good to begin with. But I have ADHD. It is hard for my brain to stay locked in and focused on a singular game for several weeks on end sometimes. Now, if it's a type of game that I'm really invested in, maybe its story is really well crafted, the mechanics are a lot of fun, I might be able to push through and play a game for about a week or so. But beyond that, I rarely finish any game. Little Witch of the Woods, I managed to actually get through the story, and now what you're watching is gameplay footage of me going through and cleaning up some of the aspects of the gameplay that I had not done yet, such as the fish catalog, or the fish encyclopedia, the villager encyclopedia, befriending them, giving them gifts, things like that. And the game wasn't originally written in English, as far as I can tell, or if it was, the person who has made the game, I think, mostly speaks Japanese. And so, like, there are a few typos, a few grammar errors, and the game has a bunch of small or even like a few big glitches and soft locks. Like, there's a villager in the game named Vinch. Vinch is a painter, and for his friendship quest, you have to help carry a cypress sapling to his house. That quest has a really annoying soft lock that prevents you from completing that quest, where most of the events will play out as they should, but the conversation with Vince doesn't initiate as it probably should, and basically you get soft luck to inside the village. Fortunately, as I was playing the game, I managed to get, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to have one time where I attempted the quest that it actually went through, the conversation went fine, and I was able to complete the quest and move on to other parts of the game. So apart from like those minor issues and like some of the accessibility things, the game has been a lot of fun. But now let me explain part of why the lack of accessibility is also partially an issue. See, making potions in the game is relatively simple. You have to manage the temperature that the cauldron's at sometimes. You have to stir the cauldron in certain directions. Stirring the cauldron, you don't have to actually rotate the control stick or do a rotation motion with keys or mouse. No, you just have to hold down a button that certain direction. And with like putting ingredients in, that's a simple button press. Adjusting the temperature is part of where things get a little more tricky because, well, for one, you have to manage it. It's like you can't have it go too far past it. You can't have it go too far under it. And there will be times where like the numbers will swap. So you might have had the heat at 5, but now 5 is where 2 was, and where the 5 was is now where the 1 is, and stuff like that. And yeah, that can be a little annoying, but beyond that's a Little Witch in the Woods. Tune in next week when we talk about Monster Care Simulator. As I mentioned in a short that I had made about the game a few weeks ago, I've been a fan of Pokemon for a lot of my life, but battling Pokemon has never been the thing about the franchise that sparked my interest. I've always wanted like a Pokemon game where you had to manage like the finances and manage the facilities of a Pokemon Center. And Monster Care Simulator basically does that. You have to treat the various ailments of the monsters, clean them up, pet them, let them run around the garden while they heal themselves. The game is very cute. It can get very hectic at times as you scale up your processing, or not processing. That sounds bad. As you scale up your operations. But beyond that, game is a lot of fun, and I look forward to talking about it. See you guys then. Bye.